Whether we experience them ourselves, guys, or through our favorite players ever in Fortnite, we've all come across those moments. You know, the ones that convinced us once and for all that Fortnite wasn't just a game, it was actually something special, or at least it used to be for most of us. Those moments were far and few between, but you know what? When they happened, they felt magical. And to me, they're what made me fall in love with Fortnite to begin with. I'm your second favorite PE teacher in Denver, guys. These are the top 14 gameplay moments that made Fortnite. Be sure to stick around to the end because I'm sure all of you OGs are going to feel very nostalgic remembering all of these. But tell me in the comments right now what moments made you fall in love with Fortnite. And also, we've got tons of unbelievable content coming your way, so like the video right now and check to see that you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. And let's jump right in. Number 14, landing a trick shot. Now, trick shots are an important part of nearly every shooter game, right? Fortnite's no exception. In fact, Fortnite has added a lot of amazing items throughout the years, including many that allow for some of the sickest trick shots in all of gaming. And I'm talking bouncers, grapplers, hoverboards, just to name a few, and I miss those so much. For all of us that went for these shots, we'll never forget the first time we landed one, whether it was off a quad crasher way up in the air or a 360 no-scope to finish off the last player. Landing a trick shot requires so much patience that once you finally hit one, though, the thrill you experience is like nothing else. You guys know what I mean. And even if you don't go for trick shots, just seeing your favorite streamer or YouTuber hit one feels just as exciting. Number 13, though, patch day. Now, I'm not going to lie, back in the day, Epic had me hooked on Fortnite because of all their constant updates. And I know they've slowed down ever since Chapter 2 got released, but during the early seasons, Epic used to drop new and exciting content on a weekly basis. It felt like there would always be something new to look forward to, and every patch day ended up feeling like Christmas Day. Now, I just loved waking up, reading the patch notes, by the way, rest in peace patch notes, then hopping into some games to explore whatever new location or item Epic added. And while the updates recently have been more spread out now, every now and then we still kind of get that feeling. I just wish we had it more. Number 12, guys, 20 bombs. Now, you guys are probably saying right now, Denver, I've never gotten a 20 bomb. Well, look, that's fine. I know 99% of us haven't. I think my record was 17, but either way, I know that when I used to watch pros like Tfue or Ninja and see them pull off these high kill wins, I couldn't do anything but just sit there and stare in awe. To see them somehow like kill up to a quarter of the lobby was insane. And on rare occasions, these pros would go even higher and manage to get like 30 or even 40 kills in a single game. Seriously, when I saw Mr. Savage pick up 40 kills on the day that Season 9 dropped, it blew my mind. Even though they're a lot harder to get now because of skill-based matchmaking, which a lot of you guys kind of like, kind of don't like, I'll never forget seeing my first 20 bomb. Now, number 11, playing as what you love. Now, Fortnite had a ton of like fun and cool skins into the game. It was like a new skin all the time. We loved it. We could play as a guy with like a tomato head, a hamburger, your robots, a Yeti, or even as a banana, which I don't know if you guys knew you could play as like 18 different bananas. Those silly skins are what helped make Fortnite for a lot of us. Getting to play as what we loved made the game 10 times more enjoyable than if we were just some like generic mercenary or something like most games do. And when Epic began doing all the crossover events like with the NFL, yeah, Steelers fans, where you at? Avengers, Batman, even freaking Deadpool was in the game, is in the game. We suddenly get to play with not only characters from Fortnite lore, but some of our favorite characters from all over the world. Honestly, it's like a dream come true, and almost no other game did this kind of stuff. But speaking of something no other game does, number 10, in-game events. Now, even though Epic gets a lot of flack for the decision-making, right, there's no doubt they know how to put on an incredible show. I mean, the Travis Scott one is definitive proof of that. But while Travis Scott was more of a visual experience, Epic has done some more like subtle events that intertwined with gameplay in the past. Like, I remember the first one way back in Season 3, where all of a sudden, meteors were falling from the sky and smashing through everything in their path. Then in Season 5, we saw Kevin the Cube appear out of nowhere and begin roaming around the map. Every day, he would crawl to a different spot. And the mystery behind that cube kept me on the edge of my seat because I never knew what would be destroyed next. So we've got to give it to Epic here. They really know how to keep us interested. Now, number 9, getting blessed by RNG. Loot randomness, it's sort of a love-hate relationship in Fortnite. I get it. Well, most of the time, we feel like we only get those stupid like burst rifles and some bandages out of a chest. There were those rare moments where the RNG gods would smile on us and give us something like, I don't know, a gold scar and a chug jug back in the day out of one chest. Whether or not we would do anything with that blessing, well, that was up to you, and that's a different story. But chasing those moments of lucky RNG was what kept us wanting to play Fortnite. Number 8, surviving Tilted Towers. Yes, back on the old Chapter 1 map at the start of every match, Tilted Towers would be a war zone. Seriously, felt like every game had like 40, 50, 60 people landing at Trump Tower or the L buildings. And if you somehow managed to be the one that survived out of all of these people, it made you feel like you were actually John Wick or something. Because for most of us, we would drop again and again and again, and it wouldn't always be the most enjoyable experience with all the sweaty players that we had to deal with in those buildings, but eventually, through either luck or learning from our mistakes, we would somehow survive Tilted. Now, that feeling of knowing you were the one to make it out couldn't have been more captivating. Stick around though, because the next half of this list is going to bring back some serious feels. Trust me. Number 7, Trap Towers. In the early days of Fortnite, before it got buffed, the spike trap was actually kind of lousy. I don't know if a lot of you guys know that. So a lot of players started coming up with their own strategies on how to use them. And let me tell you, some of the stuff they came up with, it was like a work of art. Most famous being the Trap Tower, popularized by like Cypher PK, I think Nick A30, where he would build this gigantic tower filled with traps and a launch pad at the base, lure the last player into it, and watch them just get impaled to that victory royale. Now, I remember the first time I saw this, I was mesmerized by just how ingenious the method was and surprisingly how well it worked. Now, as the game evolved, players found even more clever ways to utilize traps like this, such as building sky bases covered in traps and then rifting the last player right into it, kind of like Avery did one time. It was amazing. Such a satisfying feeling to see, but this next one just may have satisfied us even more. Number 6, seeing karma hit who killed you. Now, I'll admit it, after I die in a game, I get a little salty at the guy who killed me. I mean, what can I say, right? Especially if they do the donkey laugh on me. So to feel better about myself, I'll sit there, I'll pull out the popcorn, and I wait for that sweet revenge. And when you get to witness them finally getting killed, it's one of the most satisfying feelings ever, right? It becomes even more satisfying when it happens right after you die. Like when they walk into a nearby trap that you had placed, or they get sniped out of nowhere while they're dancing. And honestly, this right here is part of the reason why battle royales are so fun to play. So even if some kid drops a donkey laugh or throws out some clown emojis or take the L after they kill you, there's always a better player out there, and they'll almost always get revenge for you. Number 5, demolishing over builders. Now, I remember when players started learning how to build, it felt like it was the only thing they would ever do. People always memed about soccer skins cranking 90s or John Wicks building the Taj Mahal every time they got shot. But you know what? Those jokes were kind of right. Still, most of the time, you could always break the foundation and watch your Bob the Builder opponent drop straight down to their death. That's one of the reasons why Fortnite is so well designed. Building is a core mechanic, and yes, you're better off if you use it, but who would win wasn't always the player that could build the best. Instead, you could beat the overbuilders pretty easily and get yourself a free kill. Number 4, guys, rocket rides. And just a reminder, make sure you hit like and you hit subscribe and get that noti bell on, because why not? Code that Denver guy YT. Did I say that already? Here we go. Number 4, rocket rides. For what started out as a glitch back in Season 2 with the Halloween-themed pumpkin launcher, you guys remember that, rocket rides have since become a staple gameplay mechanic in Fortnite. I remember when I first discovered rocket riding was possible, I actually didn't believe it, right? It wasn't until later on I tried it out in-game with some friends and was just shocked that it was possible. Rocket riding gave you this like rush, knowing that if you mess it up, it would spell pretty much certain doom. But as long as you weren't taking the game too seriously, you could have a bunch of fun with it. And eventually, players would get so good that we started seeing crazy clips of like trick shots, snipes, even solo rocket riding with the guided missile launcher. The possibilities of rocket riding seem endless, and I hope Epic never vaults the RPG because of that. But moving on. Number 3, moments with enemies. Now, with the game being a battle royale, of course, we're supposed to battle it out and try to be the last one standing. But every now and then, we've all laid down the weapons and had those kind of heartwarming moments with our opponents. Maybe you see them trying to get a tough challenge done, so you help them out. Or perhaps you see them running around helplessly without a weapon, so you drop them one just as a kind gesture. Without a word, a lot of emotions can be conveyed, which I think is super touching. Now, I've had plenty of those situations, and they've always been so memorable, but I think these last 2 might just top them. Here we go. Number 2, clutching up for the squad. Now picture this, you're endgame. You're in a squad match with all of your buddies. Everybody's alive, but then you run into the last team. All of a sudden, your team is dropping one by one. It all happens quickly. You have no time to save them, and now you're the last one alive. A wave of nervousness and panic rushes over you. Your palms are getting sweaty. You begin to shake, but somehow you pull it off. Maybe through sheer luck or just a miracle. Either way, you clutch up the dub for your squad, getting them all that crucial Vic Roy back in the day, and it feels fantastic as if you're one of the top of the world and nothing can hold you down. Those insane clutch scenarios really made me realize Fortnite was special, and they'll always stick with me. But this last moment is arguably the most memorable of all. Number 1, your first victory royale. Even though getting a win isn't too tricky nowadays for a lot of us, it's actually not even that special anymore, unfortunately. But getting that first Vic Roy was pretty much a thing of fantasy. We would try hundreds, or in some cases even thousands of games, dying over and over just so we can get closer to earning that W. We'd go through what felt like war, but eventually the day would come. We would get our win and experience that feeling of finally accomplishing the ultimate goal in this game. And it's something a lot of us can relate to, even professional athletes who have actually compared their first dubs in Fortnite to winning big on the court or on the field. Getting our first win is easily the most significant moment for a lot of us, and I even remember mine today. Most of us will reminisce about it for the rest of our lives. I'm calling it now. So that's it for this list, guys. Make sure to leave a comment describing your first win or telling me what your favorite moments and feelings in Fortnite were. And also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more incredible videos if you guys didn't already. As always, we'll see you next time. Love, Denver.